BW Wrestling Talk here to cover what's coming up in the Royal Rumble this year. Um, we got some predictions coming your way, but first I want to bring to your attention somewhat of a news update from this week. And this is regarding the WWE video game series. This might be news to you depending on what how much you might follow this, whether or not you stumbled upon this information. But um, the WWE game license THQ will no longer have it. It is going to the game company that has made the 2K sports series essentially. So the for instance the NBA 2K13 series. Essentially that company that has had a history of making sports games is going to make the next WWE game. How this will affect the series, I'm very interested. I think this is good. This is good for, I think, the WWE gaming series. For a long time now, I think the THQ has, they've put out decent games, but I think that the series has become a little bit stale, and I think many of you out there who play the games would agree with me on that. So this is definitely interesting news. A new company. They're gonna, an entirely new gameplay engine, I would assume, different features, a different approach to the game. And I'll definitely be interested in seeing how WWE 14 would turn out then. We'll also have to see how this affects the releasing dates of the WWE games. Being that it's a different company, maybe they'd release them closer to WrestleMania time rather than the fall. We'll have to wait and see on that. But definitely, in my opinion, some exciting news within the WWE gaming series. So without further ado, now let's move on to making some Royal Rumble pay-per-view predictions for 2013. Starting off with the U.S. title match, Antonio Cesaro versus The Miz. Even though I really don't agree with them having this match, it's been one of those half feuds, something that, it looks like they've been hesitant to have The Miz feud with Antonio Cesaro. And in my opinion, The Miz should be above this level by this point in time. I've said it before, and I'll continue to say it. The Miz should very well be in Del Rio's place right now, where Del Rio, I think, would be more appropriate in this U.S. title match level, if that. As I think The Miz has definitely more potential than at that level than Del Rio does. I think it's clearly showing, and this is an unfortunate match. This is going right back to essentially the Wade Barrett thing that I was talking about, where I didn't know why they were using him in the Intercontinental Championship level. And unfortunately, they're doing the Miz with the United States Championship. And I do not believe that the Miz is going to win this. I think WWE is waiting. They want to have Cesaro have a good reign. I think that's what they're going to do. And I don't know how this match is going to finish, but I would assume that perhaps Cesaro will just get a clean win over the Miz, and essentially the Miz will be still kind of stuck in that mid-card level. I know I've said before that he's, they need to have him wrestle more, but they need to have him wrestle more with a purpose, in a level that he should be wrestling in. I don't think this is, no disrespect to Cesaro, but this is not the level he should be wrestling in. So, you know, by that I meant they need to have him in better matches. Push him more to the top. But anyhow, I think Antonio Cesaro is going to win this match. All that's a discussion for another day. And we have the tag team title match. Team Hell No versus Team Rhodes Scholars. Um, and by the way, a lot of these guys are going to be in the Royal Rumble itself. The Royal Rumble match itself, they're supposed to be. Um, Team Hell No, I think will win this match. Um, I think they're coming off some momentum with the recent anger management segments, and I think um, with that momentum, I think it's going to help them win this match. I think that's what WWE has in mind. Um, but I do hope one day that the Rhodes Scholars are the guys that take the tag team championships from Kane and Daniel Bryan. But I don't quite think now is the time. Perhaps after WrestleMania, at WrestleMania, we'll have to wait and see. But I think WWE's trying to, I think for now, kind of squeeze all the juice out of the orange that they can get. So I see Team Hell, with Team Hell No. So I see them winning this match. Um, then we have the World Heavyweight Championship. Alberto Del Rio versus The Big Show. And interestingly, another last man standing match. Um, with that stipulation, I suspect they're not gonna have Big Show lose a last man standing match two in a row. Um, I think maybe Del Rio tries to do the same thing he did last time, where he pushes the announce table over Big Show. Maybe this time Big Show pushes it off his chest and gets up, and then I I I 100% hope that Big Show wins this match, because I don't Del Rio just to me is not championship material, world heavyweight championship material especially. So I and two last man standing matches in a row. I don't I don't see them having him win. And again, the whole thing with them being down at the border. They're in Madison Square Gardens now, for the Royal Rumble, if I'm not mistaken. So I could be wrong on that, um, but essentially, Big Show I think should win this match. I think you know the WWE maybe this time is realizing that Del Rio has not proven anything. He's not cutting it as a world heavyweight champion, and that they might as well give it back to Big Show, and perhaps we have a Dolph Ziggler cash in here. Um, I think this could be the time when Ziggler cashes in. Um, not totally sure, but because it's a last man standing match again, you would think that both guys are gonna beat the crap out of each other. Um, or get beat up pretty darn good, and I think that might seg into Dolph Ziggler coming out and cashing in on a beaten opponent. Um, and you know, I think on top of that, if he were to cash in successfully and become world heavyweight champion, um, you know, perhaps it would somewhat turn him face. I don't quite know how they'd work that out. Maybe Del Rio would unfortunately beat the Big Show again, and then maybe Ziggler would cash in on him and remain heel as a result. If Del Rio's even entirely over as a face, to me he isn't totally over. But I think this could be the time when he cashes in, and I think interestingly this could maybe he'd vacate a spot in the Royal Rumble match, and then someone else would take that spot. It can be an interesting pay-per-view with how things go, but I think that'll be interesting to see. It might be very well be possible. The Royal Rumble match, expected to be the second to last match. Um, will it will be interesting. I don't even probably have a clue um, who will win this, but you know it. Some people are saying John Cena. I don't see the need to have John Cena win this year's Royal Rumble in a year where they're supposed to be picking up the pace here with these new stars. Somebody new should get the win, and I think perhaps Ryback is that guy. Um, Now, you know, I say that because if Dolph Ziggler were to cash in, or you know, or if if Ryback wins the Royal Rumble, he could potentially um, challenge for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania. Um, I just think that I just think that might be a way to go there. Um, Perhaps uh, CM Punk and The Rock, either way, they set up a rematch. They already have a one-on-one contest at Royal Rumble. Um, there's potential that they meet in the Elimination Chamber as well. And then perhaps at WrestleMania, maybe this time around, you know, Ryback inserts himself in a rematch between those two. And they have a triple threat match. We'll have to wait and see, but I just, it's hard to say who's really going to win the Royal Rumble. Um, just because there's so many guys that any year could potentially win it. To me, it was clear last year that Sheamus, it was more evident that they were going to have him win, and sure enough, they did. But this year, you just don't know where WWE's mentality lies. Um, Whether they're going to have Cena win the Royal Rumble, or maybe something more beneficial like Ryback win the Royal Rumble. I'm going to be hoping Ryback win. I would love to see him win. I could really see, um, a big people making a big deal out of that, and it being great. So we'll just have to wait and see. But I think of all the people in there, Ryback may have a slight better chance than the second most likely guy. So I'm gonna say Ryback. But quite frankly, we really don't know. I really don't know. So that's the bottom line. And we have the WWE Championship, CM Punk versus The Rock. This, you know, this might be the time when CM Punk loses the championship. Um, Now I was thinking about it earlier this week. Vince McMahon said that if the Shield interfere in this match, specifically the Shield, he didn't say if anybody else interferes. If anyone interferes in the match, he said if the Shield interferes in the match, CM Punk will be stripped of the championship, but not given the championship. The Rock wouldn't be given the championship. Um, I don't think that little tidbit there matters, but I think what matters more is that Vince McMahon specifically said the Shield. Um, and my only thought here is that perhaps this prevents, a little segue for Brock Lesnar to come back. Although I think more likely than not, they're supposed to have him coming back after the Elimination Chamber. Um, so from what I've heard, that's when he's supposed to be coming back, which would probably likely mean that he would face the Undertaker, given that would be probably the Raw after Elimination Chamber, the end of February is what I heard. So there's a chance, but I don't know. I think this might finally, I think this is a main event that they should not ruin. Well, not ruin, but I mean not have interference kind of tamper with the match. Um, so I think essentially The Rock, will get the win here, become champion, and then probably lose it at WrestleMania. Um, so that's what I think. I think you know CM Punk has surpassed John Cena, a little while ago, and he's been rolling with the title. So I think this might finally be the time where The Rock, well, where it's CM Punk loses the championship and The Rock becomes champion. Um, and it definitely can, throw an interesting dynamic into CM Punk, how he handles himself. Um, how this feud between him and The Rock would, likely continue up until WrestleMania. So that'll definitely be an interesting match. The main event, I'm pretty sure it'll be at the end of the card. So we'll have to wait and see how it goes. It should be a great match. Um, and uh, depending on the results of the Royal Rumble match and the World Heavyweight Championship match, I think who wins those matches, what happens, whether or not there's a Ziggler cash in. I think that will all factor in essentially how good this pay per view is. I'm sure WWE Championship. I'm sure that match will deliver. Um, the Royal Rumble should deliver, and depending who wins, I think, and what happens with those other matches, I think will you know um, factor into how good this pay per view really is. So, with that in mind, we will conclude this edition of TW Wrestling Talk. We will kind of go over what happens afterwards on Monday and Monday Night Raw, and what happens at the Royal Rumble, and we'll be back next week with more TW Wrestling Talk. So thanks for always watching. Enjoy the pay per view, and I will talk to you later. Thanks again for watching.